What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? That's a badass intro, man.
Representing, man. What's going on? Sekou.
Man, rocking and rolling, man. Just in New York and this upper East Coast weather is killing it today, man. It's 85, it's balmy, it feels great.
Yeah, man. I told myself, I said, man, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna do it outside. We're gonna do it somewhere we can kind of like enjoy the weather, enjoy the I guess going into the fall part of things.
Yes, sir. They doing it up big with the pumpkin spice right now. Everything is pumpkin spice, pumpkin spice. So you know that's when fall is coming.
That's it, man. All right, so appreciate everybody for jumping on. We do these once a week where we interview an agent that's actually killing it in the industry. And today I'm so happy to have here my buddy Sekou Pyle. I mean, if you don't know this guy, man, you must have been sleeping somewhere for the last couple of years.
I'm down with you, bro.
Yeah, man. So before we get into all that stuff, man, you had came to Atlanta for a minute there, and just kind of hung out with some people in the group, and kind of kicked it and shared a whole lot of knowledge and stuff like that. Man, like how was that trip, man?
Well, let me say this first and foremost. I've gone on a lot of trips. I've done a lot of these things. I have never been treated the way that I was treated when I rolled down to Atlanta that time, man. Sister Mimi had the care package for me. She knew I was doing a raw food cleanse, so she had the care package for me. She hooked it up, bro. We did so much amazing stuff that weekend, man. It was just awesome, and I met so many great people, so many new agents. It was absolutely amazing. It was amazing. There's no other way to put it. It was amazing. And I want to do it again. I want to do it once a month, man. I want to do it over and over again, man. And it just grow that momentum.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, it's one of those things, because you've been coaching for a while and you've been helping agents hit their goals. How many people actually had that coach to leave their comfort from the New York City to fly down here to the dirty South, um,
Dirty.
just to actually have meetings to take their business to the next level, man. I mean, we appreciate you so much, man, for all you do for
Bro. We put together, I think that weekend, we might have put together maybe 5 or 6 straight up transactions that have actually probably already closed. Um, what we decided to do, man, is we decided to take action on all the theories that are out there. All the theories that are out there, we decided to test those theories by taking action on them. We removed the element of being a new agent, or we removed the element of being a suburban agent or being a commercial agent, and we just take the time tested agent, use those theories and put them through the test, and see if they work, and see if they don't. We ask ourselves the questions at the end of the day: what worked, what didn't work, and what should we work on?
Yeah, man. All right, so all right, so like I said, some for the people that don't know, they just don't know. But let's go ahead and give like kind of a backstory of
Okay.
where you how you developed and become the person that you became.
No
Seiko,
doubt.
the king of appointment booking, and like I don't want to lay down the whole thing, man. I'm gonna let you tell your story.
I tell you what, man, I was a mess up, man. And I'm using a very polite word because I was for a long time, man. I used to do fundraising and development. And basically, everybody worries about being a door-to-door salesman or a glorified used car salesman. Well, you can't get more used car salesman, no door-to-door salesman than doing fundraising and development. Basically, you're selling a product that they can't actually own. You're selling a good feeling. You're selling, the idea of future rewards, and I basically did it door to door in Harlem, man. I knocked on every door. I knocked on every business. I talked to every congressperson. I talked to every single person that had a pulse to see if they would donate to these kids that were born HIV positive or born addicted to drugs at a place called Hale House in Manhattan. Uh, I took that and basically just transcribed those skills in talking to for sale by owners, withdrawals, and expireds. And I did terrible the first year in real estate. I felt terrible the first year in real estate. I had this major windfall in my own life, right? I sold my property. I bought the property for like 20 grand and I sold it for like 800 grand. So like I thought I was a god, right? You know, I thought I was the man. Uh, and so when I got into real estate, I just thought things were going to fall into place like that, right? It was just going to be like a glorified job, right? I was going to show up. There was going to be a stack of papers, and I would just chew through those papers. And you know, I'm always the best at what I do. So then the cold reality of real estate set in, and you realize that you know you are the business, you are the marketing, you bring the business in, you take that business to the next level and get it out. And it was a hard lesson learned, but once I learned that lesson, man, I couldn't unlearn it. And I took those same skills from door to door knocking and applied it in real estate, and went from 10,000 a year in income to 80,000 a quarter in transactions. And I had a small team. I just disbanded the team so that they can do solo projects and things like that. I feel like a music person, right? Like everybody doing solo projects. But my team consistently did over 300 transactions a year. We believe in the deal a day philosophy. Every day we work, we should put a deal together. And so that's what I'm imparting on the agents that I'm coaching. We do deal a day coaching, right? You know, at Commitment to Capping, we find these agents, we find the talent that's out there, and we literally cultivate this talent. I don't care how long you've been in the business, you can do a deal a day if you put your mindset to it.
Dude, man. We've had you on a couple times to do a couple of our masterminds, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what always amazes me is like after you come on, and you know I'm talking to an agent, they're all of a sudden they're selling houses and stuff, and then next thing you know, they're like, yeah, Sekou, he's one of our coaches now. Like really? Like even Mimi, I had no idea that Mimi was one of your people that you coach. You know, next thing I know, I'm talking to her like, hey, yeah, Sekou's coming into. I'm like, really, Sekou's coming? Like, all right,
Yeah, bro.
it just happens, right? Like, but it's a process they're following,
It is
correct?
a process. As a matter of fact, we call it the script of process, right? And so everybody all gets their knickers in a bunch when you start talking about scripting and things like that. But the reality is that your business, if it's going to be successful, has to follow a process. And that process, if it's not scripted, is going to be haphazard, right? It's chaotic,
Yeah.
right? And so we say, you know, what's the first thing that happens? What's the second thing that you do? What's the third thing? And once you break it down like that, and it's a simplified process. It's all depends on what you want to do, right? And once you break it down like that, man, you could pass that on to other agents. You could be a mentor to another agent. You could hire agents to be a part of your team that follow your scripted process. If it's going to work for you, it's going to work for them, it's going to work for theirs, et cetera, et cetera. I believe in what you say, James. You said way back when we first met, man, you said you believe you have a responsibility to everyone that you attract to this universe.
Yeah,
And so I bought into that. That's
yeah.
a mission that I could buy into. And so I believe in helping you and helping any agent that attracts people into this universe. We're going to help them be successful. We're going to put some deals on the table. Because in the end, that's all that really matters, right?
That's all that matters, man. But nah, I mean, when I said that, I mean, it's one of those things. I said it, I meant it, and I like people like you holding me accountable to that thing. You know what I mean? And, you know, just kind of speaking on that accountability piece of it. You know, like I know, like some of the agents that you are coaching or training or showing different things, sometimes they do need that extra accountability piece that's kind of put in there. So, like, what are some of the things that you're actually doing to kind of like keep agents on track? Because you know, it's one thing to actually show them the path, but it's another thing to keep them on it.
Well, so the answer is actually super simple. And forgive me, anybody out there that thinks it's more complicated than this. I just ask you every day if you did what you said you were going to do, right? And so every night we get together. So every day we get together and lead generate. I show you exactly what I'm saying. There's no mystery. I'm not telling you to. You know when you get those workout tapes, those workout. Look, tell you how old I am in workout tape, right? When you download those workouts, right? And the guy is like, okay, we're gonna do 50 of these, and he does 3 of them, and then stops and watches you do them. Yeah, that's not me. I'm gonna do all 50 with you, right? I'm gonna pick up the phone. We're gonna dial together. We're gonna get those nodes together, and then at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, we get together and we debrief. And that's what I talk about. I ask 4 questions to every agent. So this is a simplified way to hold each other accountable. At the end of the day, you ask 4 questions. Question number 1, did you do what you said you were going to do? Did you hit your numbers, right? What worked for you today, right? What worked? A lot of times we spend energy on complaining instead of construction, right? And so at Commitment to Captain, we don't complain, we construct, right? So what worked for you today? Then the next question is, what did you work on today? What did you need work on today? Right? And that's where the space for growth is. And then the third question, and this one is key, right? What's the plan for tomorrow?
Love
Right? And then the last question, and this is what makes coaching so beneficial for me, is how do I help you achieve that goal? What's the plan for tomorrow? How do I help you achieve it? And those 4 questions asked in sequence to each agent that comes on, the accountability level goes through the roof, right? You see them getting together, you see them doing things. Um, we don't accept, oh, well, I just didn't do X, Y, and Z, right? So, James, if I asked you, I'm like, so let's say your goal is to get 3 people pre-qualified every single day you work,
it. Yeah.
right? Which is one of our fundamental principles, right? So,
Yeah.
get 3 people pre-qualified every day, and you tell me that you didn't get 3 people pre-qualified, and you give me an excuse, I'm going to ask you what you did instead of getting 3 people pre-qualified.
Love it.
Yeah. And so it breaks it down. It really makes it chunks it down so that it's bite sized. But I tell you right now, that accountability is strong. It's strong. The number one thing that people miss is picking up the phone and just communicating with folks. Right.
Yeah.
And so if I say that we're going to make 200 contacts a day and you get all, oh, what do you mean we're going to do that? And I break it down. I'm like, it's 20 of them are going to come from FISBOs. 20 of them are going to come from, expireds. 20 of them are going to come from withdrawn. 20 of them are going to come from circle prospecting. 20 of them are going to come from social media. Like right there, it's just chunked down. If you can't conceive of that, then the breakdown at the end of the day will help you see other people are doing it and doing it simply.
Man, I mean, I think that's a lot to be had said in that just simple fact of what is it that you was doing instead of what you said you wanted to do. I mean, because I mean, so many people that we talk to or whatever, and everybody has the same goal, or I ain't gonna say the same goal, but similar goals. Like
Similar goals.
they want to double their business, they want to triple their business, they want to scale, they want to build a team. It's always the same thing. But then when they start getting the process of what to do to get there, and now you're actually asking those questions that you're talking about, those 4 questions. And then the last one, when you were saying like, all right, if you didn't hit your goal, what were you doing instead? I mean, that's the light, right? I mean,
That's it.
that's the light. You shine it on because really what you're doing is like whatever it is that you're saying that you were doing instead of that, you view that as more important than the goal that you said you wanted to accomplish. So now you got to reevaluate the goal in and of itself, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The number one challenge I believe that real estate agents, specifically real estate agents, have is that they can't let go of the employee mindset. That we've been trained for years, some of us for decades, right? We've been working this job for decades. We've been trained to be the best employee, and we'll show up early, we'll stay late, we'll do more than we can to satisfy this boss of ours, but won't show up the same way for ourselves, for our own business, right? And so if we can just embrace the fact that we own the business and that we have the same expectations that any boss in the past has worked for, that we work for has, then we would do better. James, the last 60 days or so, we've been working on a new concept. I'm going to share it with your folks now. If they have an opportunity to write this down. This is $1 million worth of coaching I'm going to put in a single question, right? Are you working at your best capacity?
Mm.
Do you have the best person working the best, most lucrative job in your organization?
Yep.
And so what I found was, even amongst the powerful agents that are in coaching, I found that most of them didn't even know what their best job was, didn't even know what they did the best, right? And so if you think about your real estate business, right?
Mm.
Massey Inc., right?
Yeah.
Massey Moore, right? Like, you think about your real estate business, right? And you think about what you do the best. What is the thing that you do the best? What are you the best at? What are you number one at in the organization? Most folks couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
Couldn't even tell you what. Oh, wait, what do you mean? What do I do the best? Like, what is the thing that you do better than everyone else in your organization, even if you're the only one in your organization?
Yeah.
And they're like, So somebody said to me, my sister said to me, well, nobody can do a presentation better than me. So I think I am the best at presenting. I said, how many presentations do you do in a day? And it just,
That's it.
right? So we spend our time doing paperwork, we spend our time doing these other things. But the reality is, if I'm the best at appointment setting, like you said, right? So how many appointments am I setting a day?
Yep.
There's your barometer right there. You want success? Figure out what you do the best and do it as often as possible in a single day.
Man, I love
There's
that.
$1 million worth of coaching.
That's $1 million. Somebody should take that, write that down, and go to work, man. I mean, I was talking to an agent, and just kind of helping them along, and like just holding that accountability part of it, like you were saying before, like treating it like you would do a job, and you're
Yes,
absolutely right. And when it comes to a job, somebody they'll jump over like hoops and leaps and bounds in order to make sure that boss man is happy, right?
yes, sir.
But then when it comes to themselves, they don't necessarily do that. And what I like to do is and what I was kind of explaining to this agent as well is what I like to do is I like to separate myself.
Mm-hmm.
So my real name is James. My nickname is Trey. Right. So so James is the CEO of
Yes,
the
sir.
company. James is the one. He's driving it. He's putting the stuff together. He's making things go. Now Trey, he actually is a worker
He's a
for
salesman.
James. He's the sales
Yes,
guy.
sir.
Right? So
Yes.
so like when Trey doesn't meet his goals, James has to get on Trey because Trey can actually be fired. You see what I'm saying? Like you gotta treat it that particular way because like otherwise, like you will take time off and you will get kind of laxed or whatever. But if you're looking at it as a separate person, like James is gonna set the playbook for how the business should be ran and how we're gonna scale and how we're gonna build. But Trey got to go to work in order to make all that stuff happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, we look at all of these tools that we have at our disposal, right? Like, people, Zillow and this and that and the other thing, blah 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 blah. People often ask me, well, what tool do you use the most? I was like, the the one that I got every day is me. I got this every day, whether the internet is working, whether the phone is working, whether the lights is on, whether there's a storm, whether it's sunny outside. This is the tool. This right here is the one bit of one more bit of coaching that I'm gonna give you folks right before the end. What is your mission, and how dedicated to that mission are you? So I've set a mission in play. I got a mission that every agent that I communicate with, every agent that leans in towards the product, the company, I'm gonna make a millionaire out of that.
Love it.
And I'm gonna do it over and over again every single year until I die. Right? I want to make at least 10 millionaires a year every year for the rest of my life. Right?
Love it.
There's my mission and my vision. Right? I'm going to do it by finding these agents and cultivating them and turning them into powerhouse agents. Everybody that's leaning in, everybody that's swimming towards my boat, to use my man Nick Krem's statement, everybody that's swimming towards my boat, I'm gonna make a millionaire. Now, I am obsessed with that mission, Jay. Look, Trey, if you ask me any place, anytime, what are you doing? Making millionaires.
Yeah.
That's all I ever talk about is
Love it.
making millionaires. So if you are an agent and you don't have a mission to be obsessed about, you're doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong. So get yourself a mission. Now, I know y'all thinking it's real estate and I'm selling houses. What kind of mission? Well, what if your mission is to help 100 families a year for the rest of your life? What if your mission is to help 10 families every single month realize the home ownership goal? And what if you dedicated your entire focus on those 10 people every month? Listen, if you know like I know, those are the people that win. Those are the people that are meticulous and driven and obsessed with their mission and their vision. Those are the people that win every time. And I'm going to put everything I have behind you in order to win.
And that mission drives you, right? I mean that's the whole thing. I mean, it drives you, even when you don't feel like it. That mission is bigger than your feelings. It's something that's going to push you every single time. So, I guess, some people can call it the why or
Yes,
whatever.
sir.
They interchange those two things. But what I find is like, man, a lot of people, I don't think they really tap into their true why. They might say something like, "Yeah, I want to, be be able to provide for my family. I want to be able to take care of my kids. I want to be able to
I
take
don't
care
believe them.
of my parents." But like you just said, your mission is to create 10 millionaires a year. Like that's way bigger than like, hey, I'm just want to make sure that I eat and be able to have a nice house and a car.
Dude,
So
you can work at McDonald's to do that.
true, you can. You're right.
Right. So check this out. My mission is to make 10 millionaires a year for the rest of my life, right? So watch this. Watch how this progresses. If I was to say that to an agent, my mission is to make a millionaire out of you. My mission is to make 10 millionaires a year for the rest of my life. And I got to do it by finding and cultivating and training and coaching the best agents in the world. Let me ask you this. Are you one of those agents? Now, you think
Yes,
about the enormity of
yes,
that.
yes,
Yes,
Sekou,
right?
yes.
So you think about that. If I was to say to a for sale by owner, well, that's all right, Mr. and Mrs. For sale by owner. Listen, my mission is to make sure that I get 100 families out of their old homes and into their new homes and realize all the equity that they can do. Are you one of those people? I'm going to get into your new home and realize all your equity? They're like, yes, you can take your mission and share it with the public and they will buy into it. Trey, yo, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now that I'm watching agents that are 2, 3, 4 months into the business setting appointments that they didn't think they could set. I'm watching them go on these appointments and getting contracts that they didn't think they can get. And I'm watching them not sweat the small stuff, right? Well, I don't know how to do this. I don't know that. Google knows how to do everything, right? And so if there's ever a problem, I want you to be a CEO or a CEO and not be the person and not be the person that says, do you want me to Google that for you?
Love it,
Right? Just go out there, figure it out, make a mess, and clean up the progress, bro.
man. I know I was talking to some people, and I would just tell them like, man, half of it is just picking up the phone. Like, I mean,
That's it.
you got a 50% of the people that just won't pick up the phone. Half of it is just doing that. The rest of it comes from the skill and coaching, but half of it is just getting out there and just doing the work.
I'm going to take the number higher. 80% won't pick up the phone. There's
Love
a 30%, so 50% won't pick up the phone at all. Don't believe they could do it. Then there's this 30% that knows, listen to my language, that knows if they pick up the phone, they will develop business and are scared of their success.
Wow.
They're scared of the success. They're scared that they're not going to be able to replicate it. They're scared of what happens with their life when they start bringing in. Jay, we know people. We might even be people that are making 6 figures a month in rev share from picking up the phone
Yeah.
and just talking to agents that I don't know.
Yeah.
So if that can happen for them, or if that can happen for us, the idea that somehow or another I'm more special than Lee Phillips down there in such and such Georgia is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I am not more special than him. As a matter of fact, He's probably got more in the tank than I do.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Man, I always adapted this phase. You know, what one man can do, another man can do. I've always accepted that. Like what one man can do, another man can do. So if one man is able to achieve this certain level of success, then I'm able to achieve a certain level of success. All I got to do is know and follow the blueprint of that other man.
Follow the
You
formula,
know,
follow the scripted process.
yep, it's duplicatable. Like most of the stuff that people do is duplicatable. It's just a matter of just understanding that part of it and just doing that part of it.
I was 235 at the end of May, 235 pounds at the end of May. By the end of July, I was 179 pounds. Everybody was like, bro, you look sick. You know, you all right. You know, you don't look right. You're too skinny. You know, this and that. Today, I'm 197 pounds. But in May, I was 38% body fat.
Mm,
Today, I am less than 15% body fat.
love it.
Now, what happened? I went and got with a coach and a trainer. And my mantra while I am on that floor getting beat the crap out of is, can nobody out train me? And my coach, I swear to you, just the other day said to me, I can out train you. I said, I bet you try it. And so what happens, man, is that when we lock our mindset around, if another man could do it, I could do it. If another person could do it, I could do it. Right. And if we then take it to a step further, that no one will be more obsessed with my goals than me. That right there, that combination is a winning combination. You set your goals, set them high, set them outrageously high. I don't care. Other people are like, set them so that, you know, you're not disappointed. Screw that.
Yep.
I set them high. I set them outrageously high. And then I'll kill myself to get there, because can nobody out train me? Can nobody outplay me? Nobody. Nobody's going to out coach me. Nobody's going to out produce me. It's not going to be that case. And if you are, we're probably peers.
Love it. Love it, man. All right, so I mean, so you've been obviously having tremendous success coaching agents and helping them to hit their goal. You know, you got your mission statement out there that you're pushing for everybody. Um, what are some of the things that factors with an agent that will prevent you from being able to help them to hit those goals? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I always think about like the agent that's motivated, that want to get to where they where they're supposed to be. But what are some of the things that may be roadblocks for them to hit where they're trying to go?
If so, the number one roadblock is that mindset, is the employee mindset. If they can't break the employee mindset, if they can't um, fully establish themselves as a business, realize themselves as a business, um, that's probably the number one roadblock. And I'll do this quickly. If you know, I like to equate stuff to the bakery. I'm still a fat guy at heart, right? Right. So if you opened a bakery, chances are you didn't open the bakery to work the cash register,
Mm,
right? You open the bakery to bake your cakes, to bake your pies, to cook, to, you know, that's your art. There's your passion. Too many of us get into the real estate game to work the cash register
mm,
instead of to work the art, right? And so that number one mindset block is, I got to get a check at the end of the week. So this is going to sound funny, but the bill pay is the number one block, right? The second thing that blocks agents more than anything else is they have an unreasonable expectation of their success. And I say this not to say they think they can succeed more than they can, but they actually put their success in the dirt. You ask somebody what they want to earn, and they're like, well, realistically, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Well, I didn't ask you realistically anything. I asked you what you wanted,
yeah.
right? And you know, most people will say what they think they can do instead of what they want. So that's the second thing that holds people back. And then last but not least, the one thing that probably trumps everything else is time. people don't look at time the right way. People look at time as restrictive instead of freeing, right? So a way to sort of combat all the other things that I talked about is that I look at a minute and see how much I can squeeze out of that minute instead of when it's all going to be over, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what else can I squeeze into this minute instead of how long till it's done?
Yeah. Love it. Well, man, I mean, it's always a pleasure talking to you, man, and getting up with you. I'm gonna have to go up there to Jersey, man, and hang out. I mean, you
Come
done came
on,
to Atlanta. I got to go up that way. Make
come
some stuff
on,
happen.
man.
So
So my plan. So I'm going to be in Arkansas and in North Carolina in September. So I'm going to Arkansas in a week, North Carolina at the end of the month. But my plan is to be back into Atlanta October, minimum October. And if I could do this right, bro, if I could build this right with agents like yourself, man, I'd like to be there once a month.
love it,
I'd like to transfer once a month, man.
love it, love it, man. We need to make that happen.
Let's
Matter
go.
of fact,
Let's
we
go.
need to communicate and we need to make that happen. We need to, make sure we can figure that out
Let's
because
go.
just imagine the impact that's gonna happen. All of us getting together in Atlanta, just
Woo!
transforming agents' lives, creating millionaires and success stories, dude. Like
Bro,
that's what we're about.
I started a new I don't know what to call it, a new division of my coaching, right? So it's commitment to capping, where all the agents inside cap and icon, et cetera, et cetera. We've got this inner circle where we are meeting and holding each other accountable. So there's an accountability group, but there's this new division that I call the quantum agent. Bruh. It's a 1 day workshop with 3 months of coaching behind it. Bruh. Bruh. I'm still putting it together. But man, if any agent wants to coach with us, if they want to come, if they come through you, Jay, I'm gonna hit them with the beautiful discount. I'm
Man,
expensive as hell as a coach. I'm expensive as hell, but you know why? Because you're gonna earn so much more than
right.
you could ever spend on me, right? So I'm a 10x coach, right? You're gonna make 10 times as much as you spend.
You
But if
don't
they
you don't
come
want
through
a cheap
you,
coach. You don't want a
yeah,
cheap trainer. You don't want a cheap accountant. You don't want a cheap agent. You don't want like I mean that's not what you want.
you
Not if
do
you try
not
to hit
want that.
certain goals. So,
And hey, I put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna tell you right now, they come through you, I got you. If you're not a member of this man's organization, if you are not a part of his universe, his ecosystem, you better jump on the bandwagon now. Because by this time next year, I think we're going to take over the universe.
love it, man. Love it. But y'all heard it here first. Anybody that's looking to take their business to the next level, I mean, let's link up. Let's go ahead and grab this universe and create that mission statement and hit those goals, man. Dude, I wish I had an hour. I wish I had an hour, man.
It's us, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, for everybody, we do these once a week, every Thursday, where we're interviewing an agent that's killing it, provide a tremendous value to the real estate community. My buddy Sekou Pyle, like, I mean,
Thank you
hey,
for having me, man.
appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
All right, man. To the next time.
Later.